teams. One, it's Eon Series Season 6. This is the group stage. They fought through qualifiers hard and they made it through. Like on the standings, I'm pretty sure if you look at it, Los Bozos is like number 9. And then you've got Penta Club at 5th. Whoever wins this will jump up or will fall hard. And that means Grim and Melusi are off the board. It's time for some smart gameplay, not some passiveness. These teams are here for the gunfights and they're here for the strong play style. Penta, yes, a team with a long experience, and I'm pretty sure this roster as well can definitely agree to that. But as you guys can quickly read, you've got Chronic, Suspended, Basque, Flow, and Pro-like, and then you've got Halsey, Predator, No Fear Shepherd, Hunter Puff, and Mousy Mao. So you've got a bit of an Uwu versus a destructive force. So we're just gonna have to see how they handle this. Mira, Jaeger, Frost, Wamai, and Clash will be your defending operators, while Ying and Bandit and Ying, Blitz, Lion, and now Sense. And I'm gonna say it's kind of nice to see that they are gonna use that safe pick, but they're not gonna change too much. They want to ease their way in. We are seeing a different kind of operator lineup as Jones gets shotgunned out at the last second. I'm just going to quickly point this out. One, it's always good to see an intense matchup like this. But two, it's even better to see a Frost start being brought more for the idea of setup and punishment. Because Melusi's been removed. Asami is still in play. Most of the time you'd see an Asami be brought and then try to use that as counter picks just because of her multiple key barriers. But instead they're like, hey, we're not even going to let them try to attempt a rush shot. We're going to quickly open and dance around the hatches while it's open, of course. But it doesn't matter. Suspended is here along with Basque, hopefully trying to push in and get something started. As one player is right next to the starting door, just had to barely run away in time safely. So it does work out just well for them. As Ying set up with the Candelas in hand, waiting for the call from her teammate to be in position. Blitz going to start breaking the window, goes for the jump in, but the Candel's going to cover in the hop in. He's going to go for the push, and Frost has been flashed and taken out, but Hunter's got his own pick, takes out Basque. The diffuser is going down, the cover is here and set. Prolike's got the cover from the window, takes out Hunter. It comes down to a 4v3 as the jump out is safe. Blitz ends up losing his life to Jaeger though. It's a 3v3. Clash is being pinged upstairs, so the location is set. They've just got to wait and play it a bit more safely. Jaeger understands he can go for this, but he's risking his life, especially if nobody's watching. Flo is there and prepped. Being able to use that projector as you wish is going to be strong, but with the pre-fire comes out from Pro to save the round. It works because every time you get into that 1vx situation, you want to try and bring the aggression, keep those kills coming, keep fragging it. You knew one of the players was on repel, you didn't know what the other one was, so you thought, hey, swing the repel, catch the other one either on the jump back in or on the other play. It's aggressive, it's risky, but it does work. Penta just dismantling the attack, the defense for now, seeing the gaps and just taking that phantom pressure away from them and using it to their advantage. Because again, one, phantom pressure is always going to be the same thing as ignorance. Ignorance is not blissful, especially not in Siege. You take every part of the information that you have and you go that distance. A smart player is a good player. Someone who covers their ears and just like, oh, they can't have already been there, is normally going to end up down and out quickly. We are getting to see Castle come out, so I'm going to give a quick shout out to the fact that if a lot of people were watching Castle and his high gameplay strats, it's always interesting to try and copy it because you need to know the reason why behind it, most of all. So I just had to quickly look this up. So these two teams, have they ever scrimmed to play before during qualifiers? The answer to that is they've met, but not in this qualifier. So I can say that's quite interesting. No, there's no true rivalry coming on, but there is some interesting setups just getting started. So as you can see, a small bit of hesitation lag does come out. This map is always a problem, but it will get polished up. This game, we all love it and hate it for all the right reasons. But as I can say now, you can see the shots are coming out. They're trying to open up as much as they can to give some intel. But what will they be able to find? Will they be able to see smoke on the staircase? Yes, they will. You really don't want to try and challenge that shotgun, but trying to bait him out of position so he can hopefully tap his head might work even better. Or a smoke grenade comes out and the frag grenade gets put away. That's just going to be unlucky. And it wasn't a frag, sorry, it was a stun. But as you can see, Pro like Penta has it too. Flashbangs in hand, prepped and ready, throwing them forward, but Predator Jeff chooses to go for the peek from the call out, gets the punishment for it. Unlucky, just flashed at the worst time, so now the Yin Candela is going to bounce off the window, actually, unfortunately. But there you go. You can see they have made it now 3. Chronix is in, gets 1 pick, flows push sight with safety. So they now have sight control. They don't know about the player above the hatch, but at the worst time, he looks away, so he gets taken out from below and above. Bandit finishes off the kill, so down to a 1vx, but it doesn't matter as the shutdown comes down. Well, we're going to have to see how they want to handle this because Panta's given themselves a good bit of motivation and some actual strength to this. I'm just going to have to wait and see how they want to handle this. But first off, 1, Los Bozos and Penta Club. They're doing work, they're getting there, but Los Bozos has a few glaring gaps, whether that just be to intel or the fact that the early aggression isn't being rewarded enough. It's always interesting to see. You just have to wait that little bit more. As for this team's roster, I'm gonna have to try and look on Twitter to see what I can find because they've got some new players in. Previous matches, Bask wasn't part of the unit, so I'm assuming Bask is either a last minute entry or he's just a new recruit getting tried out. But we'll have to wait and see how they choose to handle this, as it's always something interesting to find out with these two teams. But as the lineup comes out, for your defense, you have Goyo, Thorn, Kaid, and not only Tubero, which I do love to bits, Fenrir. Fenrir is going to be a quite interesting pick for the side of Mousy Mao, who's running it with 0 kills at the moment, but with this operator, he might be able to do something nice. And as the spawn pick does come out, Blackbeard's prepped and ready. Hopefully that doesn't turn out to be a bait shot and end up taking him down. As it comes down to it, though, the defense is actually set up in an interesting pattern here. They're going with just shallow roam turtle, trying to wait for somebody to push in. But as you can see quickly, Ram doesn't care. Ram's going to start opening up as much as possible. Impact ready, nades goes out, tries to get the... I can actually due to blast radius. That's actually kind of interesting. Ball comes out, but the Tubero gets Roy just as the second nade goes off, but that's it, down. The moment that stops, whether or not they have another carry charge to try to go for that wall, which it does look like he's got it set off, that thermite's going to be gone. But as it does come to it, they're set up, the phone's being rang, it's a 4v5. We just have to wait and see how this handles. The 1 player down. Best chance is waiting to see what they can find from that main entrance push, as the wall breach does come out just in time. And as a long reinforced wall is going to be open with the line for the Habana. We're just going to have to see how nicely they can ask to be allowed into this site as the pre-fires do come out. Predator taking a bit of damage, but not enough to shut him down. But Flo actually gets downed in a quick engagement upstairs. Pretty sure that's the Tubero taking the shots. But as Mousy tries to go for the push for the confirmation, he's going to actually get back and takes out the Dokebi. It's a good pick. Just got to wait and see how this is going to play, because now you can see we've got 1 in sight. He's being covered, so we just got to try to go for that plant. All his teammates are waiting for it. Prolex Penta gets 1 on the No Fear Shepherd, but Mousy's there for the refrag on the suspend. Chronix gets 1, peeking that hatch and taking it down. Comes a 2v2. 1 is upstairs, 1 is in sight, and Flo is going to bleed out at the main entrance, so it's not really going to work out in the best light for Flo. As it comes down to it, here comes the intel. Oh, actually, he chose to retreat and get his teammate. That's so nice. Here's the only problem you got. It is, you've given up a lot of time in positioning, so they can rotate and try to go for it, but the intel does come out. And here comes Predator going up above the hatch, but with Hunter getting taken out, he's going to have to try and peek this to go for that refrag, but Thermite doesn't care. He's just going to swing and take it. I'm going to say, I'm actually kind of happy to see these teams' playstyles. We get to see newer players getting to show up with some good strength to it. So, cohesion-wise, thumbs up for me. Can't complain, but let's see what the ban phase is like. Let's see how they want to ban this and set this all up as it does come up into question. What will they ban? They've got Ying and Kaid off the board. Kaid makes sense just for the fact of denial or the denial of aspect, but Ying more for that opportunity. She has been used quite strongly by this team, or when she went down earlier. For now, we got Bar Gaming. Jaeger, Mira, Frost, Thorn, and Asami will be picked. Asami can no longer be banned, so she's going to get a good bit of use now for the rest of this round, which is probably what Penta wanted. No hesitation, no fear needs to come out from them. Let's see how Los Bozos is prepped for this. They got bans to yes, their best option is a 3-3 split from this round, meaning that they don't lose a single round from now on. But versus a team like Penta Club, which you gotta understand, this may be Penta trying out new players, or it could just be the fact that this is their unit now. They've changed, they've decided to work up, liven up, and change their setups, and it's working for them. Let's see how this works. A little bit of banter as always is good to come out, so let's just think about how they want to handle this.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
So, we already know what their plan of attack is. Clear upstairs, go into directly, see if they can find a gap, just go for the push, and it does look like they're going to find one quite easily because they've closed up so much of the wall to give themselves so much free reign, which is nice at the right times. But when nobody's roaming or there's no hidden presence, it's going to be called into question real quick. As we are waiting to see, Chronix on the Nomad trying to give cover for this Blackbird to get a little bit of an angle, see what they can clear out and push up as Flores destroys as much utility as possible upstairs, clearing away any shields or Jaeger devices as possible. Just gotta wait and see what else they can find. It's close, because you understand, Flores is such a strong operator at the best of times, but as you can see quickly, you gotta wait for that closure to come out. As Bask is upstairs, that Thorn Trap's gonna go off and actually trigger onto the Blackbeard, taking most of his HP and slowing him down. So the call out is here, but whether or not they're gonna find out where the players rotated for, Mira's gonna have to give that call out to the Asami if he pushes through that rotation hole. And here comes an aid, lands perfectly, destroys Puff's shield. But is it gonna be quite enough? As the C4 comes out and takes out the Blackbeard at last, finishes him off. Another thing, that's a pretty good C4 from the Mirror, just a pre-place all set up. As Asami just covering her teammate, making sure that nothing can be taken from them. This mirror window will keep being cleared off and shot out. But as the pre-fire competitor, Jeffrey gets one, Swings gets the kill, but Flo is here for the challenge, gets one, but gets immediately refired by Mousy, covering his teammate. It comes down to a 2v4. Not a lot of HP left. 50 seconds counting down quickly, tries to go for the pre-fire, catches the head of Predator just because he's a wee bit too aggressive. But as it needs to be done, you got to think about this in the best light. It's a 2v3. Do they have the timing for it? Do they have the perspective? You just got to think about it in the best light possible. In almost sense, this is winnable. One, you isolate your fights, you try to take the picks from the angles, and you try to get yourself some cover. They get the call that Jaeger might be in kitchen, but they don't know exactly where. Sees that there might be a player hiding in the back spawn, but they don't have the time to confirm it. With only 15 seconds, they try to go for the swing, but Halsey's there. Takes one. Tries to go for the pick onto the Frost, but cannot actually get the shot lined up. Pulls out the pistol, swings for one, but as the trade almost came out, Fear Shepherd just had the more powerful gun and wins that fight. That tracking, though, looks like it's the enemy a little bit of a polish up, but Los Bozos take their first round. It's good. Just got to do that two more times and they can equalize and then hopefully start winning on their attack. But as it is called in question now, how do you want to play kitchen? We've seen them lose kitchen before. One, not enough upstairs presence really to stop it. Two, letting free real estate come and go as it pleases. So
Attackers need to locate and
let's see
defuse
the
any
best out of these
bombs if they
teams.
can.
Let's think about this just in the best manner of speaking. One, how do you want to handle this? It is a 5v5.
Attackers
Looking
have
at the
located a
playstyle, looking
bomb.
at the strategy, you got to think about it that little bit extra. I would prefer to see a couple different operators, but for this lineup, it does work for upstairs holds, especially for the Legion to slow down the strats. And because we get to see this nice setup coming up from these operators of Frost, Frost, Ella,
10 seconds to go.
and Legion. My brain just gonna keep saying Malusi today. It's weird to hear a ban be the first one coming out
5
on this
seconds to
map,
go.
but it makes sense for these two teams since they didn't want to play a slow strat. They
Attackers
want to
are
make
heading
things
out to defuse
fast
a
and
bomb.
quick, take the best of one as quickly as they can, and be prepped for the next match. But as you can see, the attacking lineup chose Twitch, Osa, and I'm gonna say Gridlock. So I'm quite happy to see that they want to end this quickly. And also the fact that we do get to see a bit of a punishment. They walk straight in. Gaming room's cleared. They're not even going to worry too much about it. They've droned back, or they've droned as much as they can. They've covered the teammates' entryways, so main entrance is clear as well. And it's good. They've got all the way so much freedom on this map to try and get that refiring. Takes one, Fenrir goes down. Frost actually gets the pick. That's a punishment to lose that thermite early because they don't really have much hard breaching potential at all. And when you lose your hard breacher completely, it's gone. Now you've got the nades, yes, you've got the EMP impacts, but now you're just trying to focus on pushing your way through isolated doorways, which is definitely not great for this map. That Frost exit frags as she left the room was rude. It was beautiful shots coming out. But as it does come to it, I just gotta wait and see. Can Mousy be here to just waken up and live it up and punish this? Gives a quick bit of a concussion to Flo, forcing him back for now. Here's the call about how close he is. Goes to swing on the floor as cannot get it. Puts him down to half HP though. So feels good about the challenge here for now. A lot of intel gone. Ellis spotted. Tries to go for the pre-fire but cannot finish the job. As you can see, Osa set up a shield close in piano, but there's the Predator Jeff to actually cover his teammates. Gets the player on the door, but as Osa swings, gets taken down on last. Bask's actually there for the double kill to clear up the upstairs and make it down to a 1v2, but it's quickly isolated down to 1. As the shots to downflow and finish off what's necessary. Bask's gone down. It's going to be difficult. Can Castle clutch this out for his team? Well, Los Bozos are set up right. They've got everything for timing wise. 45 seconds, but he's given away his position. Now they're going to be able to isolate and try to collapse on him. He's lost his element of surprise, so he's going to have to try to rotate back. They know sight is clear, so they're going to rush down to try and cut off the angles. They know where he is, so the call does come set and waiting pretty. As the diffuser will be planted by this Twitch. 417 in hand with 15 shots left. Flo catches him, tries to go for punishment, and that's how it's going to have to be punished for that. Prolix goes down. Comes down to a really tough fight now. You've got the timer, but he's going to rotate upstairs, and if you don't hear him sprinting, you're going to end up losing your life for it. Chooses to go for the patient game. Reloaded, prepared. Just got to keep walking around the corner and gets the pre-fire comeback fight. Good shots all around for these teams. So, you know what? With a shrug of the shoulders, a 2-4 split is the best Los Bozos have to try and offer here. But Penta Club looking like they want to try and shut this out. I'm actually kind of excited to see it now that we get to see Salt Snake be brought. Let's see how they want to handle this as Wine Cellar Snowmobile does go for our next site before the switch. Actually, let me pull up Twitch chat. I want to see what people are saying. If anyone's got any ideas about these players in this team, because again, it's a different roster. I love to see it as it comes to it. Okay, so the previous player Kunz had been dropped, and Kano is now a sub. They asked nicely, and they actually got him in. All right, so that's how Bask joined. Fair play. And if you ask nicely, you never know what you might receive, and it's always good to check. But as Bask will be switching off Soul Snake and returning to Ash, you got to be prepared for that 5-speed operator to come out. Is it gonna be enough? The time is ticking quick, but it's always about that smarter play. It's always about those bigger plays. As 6 picks do come out for most of the team, we now have Penta's roster's lineup being Glaz, Ram, Thatcher, Monty, and Thermite, while the defense have Fenrir, Mozzie, I'm gonna say Asami, which again, I'm surprised she survived the ban rate for this one, Thorn, and Legion. So we're just gonna have to watch how direct this push does come out, as Thatcher is an operator that can counter most things on this site at the best of times. So it's free real estate now. Wall's gonna get open. They are prepped for that fight. Only thing that could really stop it is either a C4 or an impact. Here comes the wall breach. Goes up, goes live. Prepped with the double smoke strap, but as Monty goes for the turtle plant, he has to protect his head, but the impact comes out. Monty's shield eats it, so he's still going to be only losing half his HP for it. As Flo is upstairs watching long angle, and the collapse does come in. The pinch from all 4 sides, trying to shut down everything. And now it's all up to Hunter. He's got to try and fight his way out, but he's going to get stuck tight. He's close on the wine cellar door, but he gets Monty for now. That's a big threat gone, as Bask is actually injured by the thorn trap. He should hopefully have the call out. And unfortunately, Glaz is going to win that with a quick peek back. The aggressive challenge after reloading. Just a one tap. Chef's kiss. Can't argue with that. A masterclass on how to attack with a few mistakes, but it worked so well. Pulled everyone's attentions apart and then just dominated. That's one of the point of good intel. Let's see what the next spawns are. I'd be surprised if Sammy Smeeds have passed this one, but we'll just have to wait and see. First on, I'm going to go with Kaid, maybe a Thatcher or an Ace. Let's see. What are we going to remove? That's Sammy Ingram. Yep, that's fair. I do wonder now if the Malusi ban was just targeted or if it was a misclick. What would be next? Again, Tide, Thermite, Bandit, Thermite, something along those lines of getting rid of a hard breach would be nice, but Blackbeard could be a good ban for this team. Warden and Ying. Okay. So a good punishment to the chance of Penta's clubs being able to use that plant denial from him, but as it does come down to it, we're going kitchen dining, so I think it's probably for the best for this strat to get rid of that Ying early and make sure you can set yourself up in the long run. Only question is, Glass is still on the table. So, as we've seen previously from Pentaclub, Glass can be used to great effectivity when it's needed. But for now, we're just going to have to wait and see how they want to handle this. As we have Ying, Ram, Thermite, Gridlock, but also Buck. For the defensive side, they've chosen Jaeger, Castle, Smoke. I'm going to say Malusi. So maybe this is why we got to see Malusi banned that first time for what Pent is about to do. But we also have Mute. Just keeping things a bit quieter for now.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
As it does finally have the setup come out, let's see if we're going to see a spawn peak or a shutdown. It's close. For a team like this, I don't expect it, but that's when it's the most dangerous aspect of it. When you're expecting Penta not to be the ones to spawn pick, but be the ones to set it up, finally have the window open. As you can hear quickly, shots actually did end up coming out from Flo to go for that challenge, but it's not going to be quite enough. as the site will be held with a 4-1 strat, having 4 people total, one person's shallow roaming on the first floor trophy, just to try and cover the angle. But as the thermite charge will now detonate, I'm just gonna try and catch off the smoke commute as they try to push up to try and stop it at all. But Bask doesn't care. Bask tries to play it close, listening with shotgun in hand. It becomes a 5v5, but how long will that last? Castback hits being prepped and about to empty quickly. Castle, see if he can catch the operator's toe, but he won't be able to find anything just yet until he opens that barricade. It's close. They got time. As the smoking shots do come out, we're just gonna have to wait and see how they choose to handle this. Oh, with Hunter Puff taking out suspended though, that's gonna be unfortunate. Oh, the stream says the game audio was low. Okay, got it. As Halsey gets one, takes out Flow, making things a wee bit more suspenseful, I guess is the best way to put it. And as the Flow finally comes back to Pro, like, he's going to take out one, but the shotgun from below is going to be enough of a deterrent. As Smoke chooses to swing it, Bask, you can't do that with the SMG, but apparently he can. Just a quick prone drop shot does work great. I'm gonna say it does look like their good challenge does come out, but here's the thing: the masterclass challenge does fight back. They're walking into the opponents, but again, that's not sight. They've only just used a lot of their time to clear the upstairs. With a mute with a C4 that could ruin everyone's day very quickly and quietly. They do have the time to jump, can give them that, but you're up against a Thermite and Aurora, so they can close off the doors, making things a wee bit more difficult. C4 comes out. That's one quick kill, and as Aurora runs back to try to go to the diffuser, it gets caught off guard. Penta still takes the round, even with a few mad mistakes in there, but it does happen.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Well, as the time sets up, we are now in that penultimate round. That I love to say so much as a 1-6. Very quick match, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's only been 40 minutes since the stream even started, and that was the good 20 minutes of waiting. So let's say match time itself has only been 20 minutes. And these teams are fighting for card. As Mouse Meow will switch from Snake, goes to the Zofia. It's gonna come down to that timing of will they have enough fights? Will they be able to force their way onto site, find the gaps and pressure, and just, take the victory of the round and keep themselves in this? Because right now they're set up, but they're against the team like Penta, who, again, they've got a good bit of history. Yes, a couple new players, new faces, things like that, a sub coming in. But he has now joined the roster, apparently. Or at least that's what you guys said in Twitch chat earlier when I was looking at it. So let's see if they can find more out about this. Clear their games quickly, already pushing up. Ready, just got to find this player Mez, and they can hopefully do a lot for it. Castleback quickly comes out, stops the push up, but he does actually hear the call out. And as the Aurora can now close the rest of the windows, doesn't really have to focus too much on piano. Oh, that's unfortunate. And he doesn't actually know about the player in library, so Castle's just going to run past. His position is a wee bit distracting now. But as the quick phone call hang up comes out, suspended, gets one, takes out Halsey. That's Tokebi off the board. That was the player hiding in the library, so that's gone now. And as Bask finds one of his own, takes out Mousy Mao, that's Sophia gone. 3v5, a winnable state if you can get your picks, and as Hunter gets two of his own to refrag and equalize, it's exactly what's needed. Having to wait and see how they want to take this. Again, as I say, it's always winnable. It's never over till the gridlock starts singing, and at this point, we're listening loudly and lovely. So it does come down to that 1 minute 30, knowing that one of the sites is basically clear, though. Does give them a wee bit more hesitation of what they can do. Oh, I generally thought that the gridlock would bounce up and just hit the arena gate, but won't. Gonna have to use a wee bit more utility to try and clear that. With shotgun and hand of thermite, can open up more. C4 from below, though, is going to be a serious problem the moment they try to push up. If you can get the right read on timing. Gridlock traps comes out. Those stingers going to be stopping people from being too aggressive. Gate comes out, but that smoke trap's going to shut it down, slow down the push, and make sure to try and clear the piano pick. Refrag comes out, though. Hunter Puff gets one, takes out Flow. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that was the smoke. That was the mute below got taken out now. It was. The challenge. Hunter going for this ace today. Gets a second, a fourth one. Now becoming a 1v4. Can Hunter swing it? No, he cannot survive it. Does not have the fire at the challenge. That is Predator. Jeff is chasing. Jeff the Land Shark is here to stay. And as the shot comes out, the trade. But because the defenders win the trade when it comes down to timing, GG. So that is a 7-1. So you'll come back to my lovely face. Just want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Cherry J should hopefully be here as my guest caster coming forward. So we'll see you in the next match, and we'll hopefully have some good stories to tell you. See you in a sec. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my lovely face. Just a quick point. Cherry, she'll hop in it whenever she gets a chance. Cherry J will hopefully be here. But in the case that she doesn't, she's going to miss a heck of a match. So we have Nepinin. And I mean this in the best way. I love hearing Nepinin. I love seeing Nepinin's matches, but it's always that little bit extra of craziness. So, first off, Kiwi Esports. If you don't know, Kiwi versus Neptune is going to be a good match. Secondly, the map we're going to be going to will be revealed in just a second. So, a lovely producer, can you pop up the maps? I want to see where we're heading to. I want to see what we're likely to see before I start glazing Kiwi. They chose Layer. Never mind, the glaze will not be coming to Kiwi. It'll go back to Nepinin as intended. So, Nepinin, great team to bring, but they also beat Penta Club, which is the team we just watched, 7-3. The fact that Kiwi, who had previously lost 4-7 versus, and if I remember correctly, the team's name was Old Men. Yes, it was Old Men. But it's just the fact that we have either a really good match in our hands, or this is going to be another quick, very, very quick match. So let's see how this gets to play. Hope everyone's excited. Hope everyone's ready because I am, and you know you should be too. The mics should be balanced now, but pop a message in the chat. I'm sure one of the admins or the producers can tell you. So let's head into this. Let's make things exciting. Layer. First off, as much as I love Layer and Deimos that whole season when it came out, it's always been a bit of a crazy problem to it. One, a lot of Tachanka plays. Two, you can carry the entire game with just Tachanka. Three, if I don't see Kiwis bringing Tachanka, I will crash out. But in all jokes aside, one, great map, especially for the fact that it's got that 3-tier level while also having the outside aspect that's not a part of the main map. Two, even with certain bomb sites being so central oriented, meaning that like they've got direct rooms connecting and protecting from above, below, and to the right and left. There's still rooms that can be accessed from outside with that safety aspect. Think about it. How upset would you be if you went towards like that outside wall and just had an operator like a band or something hopped out of that window, just wait there for you, and ended up popping you for it? You'd be as furious as I am, I'm sure. But as Captain Kaido removed, let's see if a Sami and Tachanka make it through. Deimos and Banderosh, so no electrics defenses. We do need another electric operator, I'm going to say it now. But also, it's just time for Sami, Mute, Tachanka, Mira. And I'm calling it now. Lawson's going to be Smoke. Oh, it's Valkyrie. Okay, never mind, I'm wrong. One Master. Be prepared for this fight because if you know it, I know it. It's going to get that little bit hectic. But it's smart to see. Before shots come out. Quick rotation holes being made. Audio cues are going to be set. Mute jammers are going to be the only thing that's stand between them, between breaching the wall and, getting the plan done, really. If you want to think about it in a different way, you can think of it as mute the first and only line of the defense until the shots start raining. For now, we're just going to have to wait and see how they handle this, as mirror will be brought, meaning that direct challenges using that intel gathering from those black hole mirrors are going to be strong.
10 seconds remaining.
First and foremost, I do want everyone to look at the team names again to make sure they're all supposed to be here. We have Mimi Money, Freaky, Vademan, Jaxies. So it's supposed to be like Galaxy, but it's Galaxies. Okay, weird. And then Purtsy on the fence for Kiwi. While on Nepinin, we've got Katu, Virtual, Azure, Turkinator, and X-Brixie. Don't know why that's one that made me laugh, but as you can see, Valkyrie already hiding in medical, walking close, waiting to see if he can find a pick. Finds one. That's Kirkinator off the board. That's sense gone. That's a good bit of utility gone, especially for the post-plant situations. But no real challenge, no chance for a refrag. That's a huge pick to dig out. Plus the diffuser was dropped, so a good bit of time wasted. Main problem is, can they make up for it? Will Buck be able to go below, get the Sasami out of position, and let Blackbeard push through? Or will the Valkyrie get the flank off and maybe be able to punish? As the timer does come out, you've got to wait and see. The sheet does actually come out, so the timer set up. They're planning to play in the death angle and make sure that nothing can come from it. As Blackbeard has pushed up, that wall breach charge will go off. Ace will be able to have a nice long angle being created for him. But Buck's still below, looking for that Valkyrie as she has just taken out his teammate. So the hesitation is there. It's all about this timing. Intel being given away, though. Not in the best situation. C4 blasts that Blackbeard shield away, but no one's there to capitalize on. Does only stop the Ace charge from being able to finish, so that's a good chance that they can hopefully be able to hold this. As Virtual is here waiting, and the drone has just barely spotted him. Now you have to wait because Black is going to have a good chance to push up. Catches it, spots it, backs off just in time. Covering the angle. But the aggressive playstyle is always up for it when it comes to Neptune. Ready switches the deagle. But as it does come out, the chunk of fire blocks off the hole's rotation. But the long angle comes out from Katsu getting Vader. End with Jalax getting a massive shot, and Virtual takes him down, and the double quick shots come out from the Chanka, leaving it as 1v1 now. Chanka's got the time on his side, but if he can cross to grab that diffuser, Rex can hopefully go for a plant behind the desk. But we'll just have to wait and see as the intel does come out. The pre-fire starts. Rexy gets tagged just a little bit, so he won't be able to go safely forward. 30 seconds come out. Chanka's got more than enough chance to start burning with position. He's hidden from the angle, so he's just got to clearly walk up slowly, start the fire. Oh, now the timer's on the other foot. Chanka's going to have to try and wait and walk his way up to try and go for that defuse. But will he be able to find Buck? He thinks he's below. He's heard the shotgun, but he doesn't know for sure. And unlucky for you, that dinner plate of a dish reload animation is going to be a problem for you. As much as I love the magazine, if you're not prepped for it, it can ruin your day. As you can see, 1 to Neptune, but I'm going to say this now. A lot less convincing than what we'd seen previously on the last map. So, let's see how Kiwi's going to have to try and answer this one. Or Kiwi, sorry. Interesting names all around. Just got to think about this in the best light. I want to give her one quick point of contention here, though. Kiwi is actually using a lot of different operators. They're not just hog tying to a changing anything. It's, hey, we're going to a different site. We know what operators we want to bring for that site, but we want to feel the most utility. Like if you hard crutch on Tachanka, you know it's going to get banned next round, so you want to try and make sure it sneaks straight through. Same with Smoke, same with most operators. The only main three, I'm going to say, just in this case, but technically two, is the fact that Asami, Mute, and Mirror have all made it through both picks for the defense this time around. But we're going to have to see what else they can really choose to defend themselves with. As it does come out to Katu on the shotgun, actually, for this Ying. Gonna have to see how great that actually works out well. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Quick chance does come out as Grim is gonna actually be the first person to try to light something up, but he's not gonna find much for it. The roaming's presence, though, is actually quite strong for the side of Kiwi. It became a very interesting 3-2 setup, so 3 people roaming above, 2 people below, on site holding total. So it's good if you're trying to hold hatches closed, but if you're holding hatches open, it can always be a big risk here. And as that Habana tries to come out, Mira's going to quickly shout that before she ends up losing her head for it. And now that mirror window will be able to get opened, causing a nasty angle where it tries to peek it. But as you can tell, did go off, and Mute's going to eat a lot of shots. It's about trying to escape that. Mirror pushed up, gets the swing actually before getting flashed. Takes that one. Nobody said to reflag the Blackbeard because Ying's got her own issues now. Has Havana cleared the room without checking the corners, ends up losing her life for it. But as you can see quickly, the nade comes out, but also so do the shots from Grim. Quick refrag, making it a 2v4. Sami survive and get out of this without end up getting shot in the back. That is always going to be a question until it does come out and questions are asked. As it becomes a 2v4, most people have rotated back down to site except for the Asami, who's looking for some way of answering this. Graham's actually looking to see what he can find on site. Unlucky for you, the players know this site is difficult to hold but just by standing on it. Big problems come out, shots go far and wide. Will they be able to find anything about it? Comes down to the timing, really. Two operators. One's got a shotgun secondary, one's got a shotgun primary. Can Ying do this without any real utility? Can Grim be able to find everybody with his beehives? If not, it's going to be a really difficult fight for them. As Freaky has the audio cue, he can hear how close Ying is. Chooses to burn the first Goyo trap just to slow the roll. Make sure that the push can't come out until you have to risk your HP for it. Wishkatu dies, but ends up going down for it. And with Mimo Nani taking out Virtual, that's the Asami taking out the Grim. Those unfortunate moments where, yes, the opponent's firepower, just stronger. They have map control, just better. And that's the big point. So, TV Esports takes 1-1 now versus Nepinin. Smoke, Mira, and Ella. We go to Bunk's briefing with Warden now as a tag along with Malusi. So, how is the best way of handling this?
Attackers need to locate and defuse
And as
bombs.
you can say, Freaky, we love you doing some absolute work for his team, being impactful in the right way. Not going for the crazy frags, not trying to be the showstopper. Leaves that just to teammates to try and back up. Just playing it safe, being the right player. But as it does come down to question, this site, you hold it from top floor, try to hold the on-site just in case they try to go for a direct wall push. But it's never that simple. We all know it.
10 seconds
It's as
left
simple
before
as, hey, hatch stays open. If they rush upstairs and take it, you can either drop back down or try to fight and hold it. If they rush site down below, you try to hold it from above or try to drop hatch and challenge.
defuse a bomb.
But versus a team like this, Nepinin, who again, I'm gonna say, they've shown some strong, strong play styles. Can they match what we're seeing here now? I'm hoping the answer is yes, because as the setup does come out, it's all about that timing. Mirror window spotted. Ace charge goes out. It's gonna open it. That's unfortunate. Didn't actually get the second ace charge, so that mirror is going to be open, and they'll have a chance to go for that vault 3 in the site if need be. For now, time to clear the top floor. Like on your first answer. Can this quest be completed without losing too many men, or will it end up being a big problem as a smoke grenade does come out to try and stop people from pushing blindly through? No free real estate in this matchup. These teams are looking for gaps, looking for pressure, but will they be able to find anything for it? Both waiting. It's such a slow playstyle, but it works so well because they know the first mistake could end up costing the entire round. A minute 38 called. Only Smoke is actually paying because he's walking around that hallway, but here's the problem. As you tries to peek him, he's going to end up losing his life for and being finished by the smoke grenade. No chance of continuing being able to res it or refrag it. Freaky just doing a little bit more work than what is necessary, but always a great player to see. As Lion tries to take it, ends up losing half his HP. Coming down to a 4v5, a minute left. Smoke still choosing to swing with that shotgun, but again, he's swinging a DMR, so it's not an ideal state to try and fight that. As Virtual chooses to swing his own nade, gets the pick and takes him down. As Virtual gets another one, just Jackson off the board. That's the Asami goal, and that's a huge pick, especially for the firepower. And as Purity just walks blindly into the shot, that's unfortunate. It does happen, but as Katu walks in, the bomb will be planted. But Diffuser goes down, and it becomes a 1v4 as Warden has to fight Virtual, but as you can see, the ring around the rosies had to end somewhere. I do mean in the best way. Drinking some tea, watching TV, watching Epic, and have some great esports fun today. You gotta think about it in the best of lights, and the best way going forward is who will be banned. It's Dokebi and Mira. As you can see, Virgil calling a little bit of BM, but also giving some respectful advice. One, Lucy, pay attention to where your teammates died from in the calls. Don't just blindly walk out. Two, Warden, don't try and challenge the same person who's just got the ego and the confidence to try and challenge your entire team and win. The Asami, I got nothing to say. Smoke, just unfortunate. We didn't get to see it, so let's see how this works. So I want to point this out. So this is a different first floor hold that we did see. Yes, there's no Valkyrie this time. Instead, they've chosen Solace. So let's see what their answer is for that. Is Solace just going to be for post-spawn situations, or is this all going to be intel chasing, where her entire kit be used to destroy everything on site because she's got that shotgun, or will be played a bit slower? As she's hiding in first floor briefing, I think I'm right about the slower playstyle waiting to try and catch off players. But as it quickly does come out to everybody else is set up on the first floor. Shank is opening as much as he can, and we're just going to wait and see how this team tries to play it. As Azure pushes up, seeing what he can find. He's pushing to operationals. He knows the Asami's behind it, but Asami's underprepared. The double swing did come out, and it ends up losing his life for it. So 4v5 with a huge risk taken. Freaky's gonna have to answer back with that C4 to hopefully take out the flag before they push up into sight and take out the whole team. As Virgil is waiting here, will it be enough? The intel comes out, but as Jax gets punished and sent away for now, gonna have to try and find somebody. An unfortunate moment where you're prepared for it, but so is the opponent. They end up taking their HP for the fight. And as wall breach does come out from the Sense, now the pressure's truly on. Because if you remember correctly, that first round, Sense was taken out early. Not this time. The safer game does come out. Let's see how they choose to handle this. It's going to be taking a wee bit more time as a 4v5 does come out. Ooh, Rexy actually doing a lot of damage as Ace tries to go for the opening, but Freaky's there, and he ends up losing his life and taking a Virgil. It's a quick trade. Coming down to a 3v4, but with Rexy still in that first floor, having now go for a late rotate to join his team, it could still be winnable. Just gotta isolate it and hopefully get those picks. As the intel needs to come out. We've got smoke below, no smoke canisters. Sorry, we've got Jalax below. The smoke canister's empty. Only impacts in Jalax's pocket as the last remaining part of the utility, as Azure gets one. But here's the problem. They're ready and waiting for it, and they execute the entire team man for man. It's one of those things where even with the intel, what do you do? You're getting stuck and locked in a position. If you try to go for the fight, you're not prepared for it because you don't have the intel. You're in a losing situation. As Dokebi and Mira have been banned, though, I do want to quickly mention this out. One, we're seeing these teams bring some true strength to it, but Neponym, again, being a much stronger team, and even I'm going to say Penta just from statistics wise, I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle this best one on a map like Lair. All these teams have practice on it, but it's never over. We're just going to have to see how they want to challenge it and how far they can go. As the question will be quickly asked, what's the best setup? Do you try to play aggressive now? Do you try to speed up the momentum? Or do you try to shut it all down?
10 seconds left.
It's all about that timing. Looking at it first off, I want to quickly point out something.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Yes, you've got the Asami, Goyo, Echo, Ella, and Lucy, which is all known for slowing down. We now have Snake, the new operator, whose whole point is, if somebody is just standing, you get to know where they're facing using that UAV, but also getting some huge intel. And because he's a wee bit more on the quiet side, which I do love as just a base statistics, he can do a lot more with it. And the F2 buff. If you've not been playing it, it's so nice. It's really, really unfortunate. As shots do come out, the wall was not reinforced, so that ace charge is going to go out long and hopefully find something as virtual clears in. The fear factor. But here comes the timing for it. Let's see how they want to handle this. It's close. The timing's set. Drones are out, but they know Twitch is going to be integral to taking out those gore traps. Can't let it happen too early. Can't lose that drone too late, as Echo now has to back off and try to fight. That Twitch drone will be a menace if she can survive. And it gets targeted. That's so unfortunate. So, as it does come down to it, it's a 1v3. This is going to be a bit of a slower one because you know they can't push on the site. But as the fights upstairs haven't intensified just yet, people being locked out. Ace, though, already in missile, being close, waiting to see if he can find a player in Toxic. If he can, it could be huge. He gets him loose and flashed and punished for it. Gets a shot upstairs as well as Kurt gets one on Percy. The collapse on the site is immediate. As a 5v2 is all that remains. It's okay, he's going to have to rotate back to try and catch a player. But he's going to find it. As the shot comes out, Twitch goes down. Ella's now having to join his teammate to try and fight, waiting for the store to finally be able to be usable. Roar gate opens, and that's a lot of intel for the opponent and for yourself. As your waits, pre-fire comes out, gives him where he's Ace's position, but is it going to be enough to hopefully isolate and find something? As Chillax gets one, but quickly refragged, and K2 gets the final pick. Gonna say it. It's a strong showing from Neppinen, especially on a map like Lair, where if you have everyone, as you can see, set up in order, utility burned, you rush, you punish, and you take control of site. I'm gonna say though, I was quite surprised by the gaming for the first time in my life, seeing a gamer look up. Fair play, because normally everyone knows the rules. Gamers don't look up, they get punished to the floor, and that's unfortunate. But this time, that did not happen, so no cast or curse, no rules for that. Let's see how it goes in the next round. Because again, the best outcome Neppinen's looking for is a 5-1, but the best outlook TV Esports looking for is a 2-4. And that means for a map which I'm going to say is quite defender-sided depending on how you play with it with your team, which, again, Neppinen doesn't show it. It's all team-based oriented for stats. So, we just got to think about that a little bit extra. But I got a quick message, just Cherry saying that he'll hopefully be hopping in just a moment.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
But as the shots come out, the timing is set and ready. Let's see how this play is going to start. As you can see, you've got Monty, Twitch, Gridlock, Sense, and Thermite. While on the defense, you've got Warden, Smoke, Fenrir, Goyo, and Lucy. But as shots do come out from this Gridlock, will she be able to start something for real? Because there's people upstairs. You're not Fenrir, you're not anything that's meant for hunting, but cutting off angles and cutting off rotates. So, if roam denial is the plan, those double Goro traps ending up being destroyed by the Twitch before losing a drone, that's a good bit of utility. She still has one left, so she can do a lot with it, plus her own default drone. As the call out comes, ready and prepped, waiting for the smoke that they know is going to be eventually holding up that upstairs hallway like always. Twitch going for the pinch, looking to see if she can find somebody on either the staircase or the site. Will they be able to find too much about this? I don't think so, because for one simple aspect of, look at these two teams. They're strong. They have a good idea of how the place needs to come. There's nothing to stop this wall from actually being opened. So as it will be opened, the call out does come from the teams of, hey, can somebody watch the angle? And that's probably going to be the best call they need. Bobo comes out to watch K2. They can see him if he tries to walk in, but will he be able to clear Fenrir? They've breached both inside and outside as Virtual takes out Pritzy. That's a huge big taking out the Melusi from above, especially all the utility shots. And now smoke goes down before he can even pull the detonator. That's unfortunate. As a 3v5 does come out, the time is ticking. Vademan now gonna have to step up to the chance. No more donuts for the rest of these rounds. It's time for him to waken up, liven up, and shut down these opponents. As the call and intel for the drones are being used to the fullest. Here comes the point. Monty's going for that plant. He's planting on top of the desk as the shots come out. Thermite ends up losing his life to Galaxy, but not to a second one. There's a triple kill for Galaxy. But all due to Vademan giving the work and giving the teamwork. The little part. Yes, bait your teammates. It works great when you've got the decision and you can make that choice. As a 2v3 comes out and it's quickly finished. Vademan gets his one onto the pick onto the board and Jalax gets his 4K. I'm gonna say Vector MP7 still my favorite weapons, but it's a 2-4 is the chance that comes out. Let's see how Kiwi holds this now. Kiwi, we have not been able to see your defense, and a kiwi is a fruit that is normally quite prickly on the outside and delicious on the inside. So let's see how you handle it when it's your turn to find that inner core of the opponents. As it's necessary, it's Kaid and Monty being removed from the board this time. So that's one shield gone and one electricity denial. And the second one will be Bandit gone as well as Grim. As we are entering round 7, understand that's 3 rounds from Nepin's victory, 2 rounds from Kiwis being able to equalize. Let's see how they handle this. Glass, Capital, Ace, Buck, and Blitz. Don't forget the attackers do have the 6 pick, so they can always switch, which is such a nice change from the old days. And now we have Mira, Warden, Smoke, Lucy, and Asami as always. I do want to point this out real quick. If you look at this from a numbers game, you're getting to see these two teams in a different light. If you're an analyst or coach watching these players play, is it that they're playing too quick, too aggressive, too hostile, or is it the fact they're leaving big gaps, not in the zone enough? There's many reasons you can think about just looking at the numbers. Looking at the actual match of the players,
10 seconds to go.
there's so much for them to prove on, but there's so much for them to grow. And once they do, they'll be absolute menaces that we will love to see here more often on Eon Season 6 and going forward, because this is only Playday 2. There's so many more matches to come. If you're expecting even more, that's good for you, good for us, and good for everyone else. As Mira chooses to choose a rat shot, like continues to choose a rat shot, let's see how this play works out. As the intel comes out, drone gets destroyed, but will Mira be found out? If she is found, this could go horribly wrong. Drone goes down. It's just got a drone out for this Bach as he comes and opens up. If that drone did see the mirror, he can go directly to her position and execute her. But it is all about how well you know these maps and how well you know the locations. It's close, but it's not going to be enough. As we get to see, will me be able to push in, wing this pick, and take out Rexy, or will we actually get to see what the Mirror's plan is as Katu waits in hiding? Well, there you go. Buck is going to be pushing Rexy out of position. And because of this, Katu's not going to be found. He's going to hear how close the glass is, watches him walk up, listens. Has Blitz jump past and gets one, gets the quick frag second piece. That becomes a 3v5 and waits for the next player. C4 in hand, goes out in time, but will it detonate? It will actually end up killing because it clipped onto the desk. That's so unfortunate. Oh. It just had to clip onto the desk, and Virtual gets one, takes out Freaky. So, as it does come to it, he is Studley and he is Freaky, and we'll see how these teams want to take it. Oh, Kiwi means stone. That's good to hear. Thank you for that. But as it needs to come to it, Vedaman and Jalax are the last two players standing. They do have the diffuser, but they're going to have to try and make the right choice as the wall has been opened, but the player could be sitting close. And that gives away Sammy's location, hiding behind the desk. Gets the call out, just has to wait for the teammate to be able to get the angle. And there's the angle found, shuts him down, and as Virtual swings for the second as well, he's going to find it. few bit of positive reinforcements for your teammates as you go to 2-5. This has been another quick match. I'm not gonna lie. As we are hitting the 30-minute mark, these teams are gonna start feeling the burn of either just get in there, get in the flow, or end up losing it all. Because as we get into this final penultimate round, is what I'm gonna call it, just for the factor of
Attackers need to locate and
I
defuse the
have
bomb.
some good intel to say Rexy brings to Chonker will ace this round and he'll go for that victory, and I'm just gonna believe. People said you can't get blood from a stone. Chonker says he can. Chonker believes that he can do anything, and we can all wait and see how it happens as the time does come down quickly for this defensive round. I'm trying to think about this in the best way. One, we will definitely see the next bans for the operator. Who will it be? I see Mira being a definite chance that Asami could have been, but she's not being brought this round. So maybe the bait and pick is coming in for this round. Maybe we're seeing something as a different choice. Trying to make them focus on Goyo, trying to make them focus on a different operator for now.
Attackers must locate and
But
defuse
you
the
never
bomb.
truly know until it's too late. So we're just going to have to think about this in the best light. Warden only having Mira to be able to be tracked is actually going to be really close to finding Tachanka on the doorway. Unfortunately, Tachanka did not have the stones to actually be able to challenge it. So he retreats for now. As Mira will be set up in medical bay, waiting for these attackers to try and push on first floor. It is a 3-2 defense. 3 people on first floor, 2 people on the basement. And that means it's all about the rotate game. There is something you got to think about just a little bit differently when it comes to these two teams. As you can see, Jalax is ready to try and push down the staircase as the collapse could come out here in a second, but Smoke canister waiting on for it, waiting to catch and see the lines of Blackbeard. Getting it close, but actually escaped his life. Gives the intel. Blackbeard and somebody else watching on the hallway door. Will it be enough? So I do get to say a little bit more about the players as we're loading a bit more into this match. So we have almost a full finish team. One guy sadly isn't, but honorary. We got a full honorary team of finished players going to be doing some really great moves. So let's hope they can hold this team up. As Virgil gets one, takes out me. That's the Damus off the board, and that's unfortunate. As the time goes on, he gets stronger as Smoke and Blackbeard exchange grenades with each other. Freaky gets one, takes out Virtual. That's the Goyle gone. But as Mira tries to push out into losing her life quickly, just catches the shield, but it's not truly enough to stop it as the rush comes out. It's a 3v4. Gotta think about this in the best way possible. Sadly, I do not know finish, so I'll have to ask some people in chat to teach me it eventually. But as Freaky gets taken out by Rexy, I might just have to hope they get the chance to do it themselves. It's a 3v3. Tachanka sets up for the shield, covering his teammates, prepping for that Blackbeard. They've got the timer and Shamika launcher with 19 rounds in it. That's going to be very strong for them. But as you can see, it's all coming down to this timing. Actually, I think that's in one different way. One, those traps are set up around so they can be quickly switched to and give a lot of intel. But there's still all the Goyles on site, meaning the 30-second meta is definitely not going to be a friend if you're trying to wait for it. You gotta clear as much as you can first before it starts. The Tachanka starts burning off the doorways, slowing things down. The hatch drop is their last option. Smoke canisters come out to try and cover the angle, but as you can see quickly, it's not going to be their friend. The Smoke swings one, takes the pig, takes it down Vade, but it's not going to be enough to finish the job. So actually, it's going to get enough to do it with Capture and Rexy as the push-up comes down. Pertzy is there, takes out Rexy, but as the fuser's actually been planted, meaning that it just comes down to a 1v2, but as Katu is spotted trying to go for that cross, he's got to slow it down, wait for his teammate. Badu goes for the peek, and he does. That gives the intel that nobody's on site. He's just got to stay alive and hopefully find one. He gets the down quickly, but it's not coming up. As Azure gets the pick, he now has to drop the hatch. Can't even wait for his teammate. And they secure the round. Napping and giving themselves a good start for this. 6-2. And as they did call it, I can't say Caster's curse, but I can say Caster's promise. You got to think about this in the best way. Do we get to see a 7-2 or will Kiwi come back? Because again, there's no more surprises left. No more mistakes to be made. I did call it believing that we could see that next ban phase, but I'm not sure. As we go to bunks briefing, first floor, meaning Solus, Warden, Lucy, Mira, and I'm assuming it's going to be Sammy. Yep. Sammy will come out. You just got to think about it in the best way
Attackers need to
possible.
locate
How do
and
you handle
defuse
this?
bombs.
It's gonna be a slow burn if they can't force their way through. If Kiwi can get the momentum on their side and start punishing Nepinim's rolling game, start punishing Nepinim's turtle-like playstyle, they can do so much with it. Again, you gotta remember, Siege has more than 45 operators in it total, meaning that there's only one that can solve your problem. If not, it's all down to your play skill as a player, and that just means it's skill diff. As it is
10 seconds
2-6,
left.
we're going to wait and see as we enter the penultimate round
5 seconds
again,
remaining.
permanently this time. We've got the 6 picks coming out.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and
Glass,
defuse it.
Gridlock, Thermite, Capital, and Ying. As I've just got a text as well, so we will have Cherry J coming in for that next match. That is going to be great. Here we go. Time is set and waiting. 2-6. Seeing how they choose to play this, it's all going to come down to that timing of a quick shout out and shots prepped. Glass spotted on the drone, just following his teammate. Medical cleared. No real contention except for the mirror and briefing. Warden's a great operator for it, but the moment that energy is dead and watch, he can't do much for this team. So she's going to have to slow it down, wait for the recharge, and then try to go for this one again. A lot of time being wasted here. 1 minute 40 seconds remaining. Thermite will be able to get the upstairs breach, but is it going to be enough? Here's the thing you got to realize. One, time-wise, Nepinim just have to stall now. They've got all the things in their pockets. 2 C4s, a lot of utility, Sonic Kiva barriers to try and block up entry guys, and Lucy gadgets. You know if they try to go for the hot chops or what plants, you're going to get the intel and you'll be able to shut it down. And as you can see here, Cargolator's waiting. He already reinforced one of the walls just to be an annoyance. You can do it again to be fair. You just have to risk your life for it. As the shots do have to come out now. But here's a swing, goes for the pre-fire, but no. Azure with a shotgun's going to win that fight. Now, with Glass going down as well, it becomes a 3v5. Katu takes out Mimi. And as the meme's going to start coming, we'll be able to get to see the shutdown from Katu. It takes down Jelax. That's unfortunate. The only player that chose to go directly foresight. Now the upstairs hold is going to come out. It's going to be really strong. Thermite knows he's going to be able to push that angle, seeing how the destruction comes from above. And he's actually going to lose a lot of HP trying to swing this, but as the dancing comes up from Kirk, it's going to end up losing his life for it. Got to reload both your primary and your secondary. That's unfortunate. But as it comes down to it, it's a 3v2. This is now a winnable situation where you isolate your man picks or go for the kills. You're against a really strong team as Virtual gets one and then gets the second. GG, fair plays. You'll come back to my lovely face in just a second. So, 7-2 to Nepinin. It's insane what you can do when you've got a good team, good strategy, and great plays. So, I'm going to say it. Thank you for everyone for having me. Thank you for being here. Don't go anywhere just yet. We have 2 more matches for you today. So, I'll have Cherry J joining me in just a second. So, we'll catch you all in a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my lovely face. This time with a casting buddy. So, Cherry J, I'll let you give yourself a quick introduction in just a second. I just want to say we have a crazy matchup. I'm actually really excited for it. So, give yourself an introduction, then we go to maps. He's muted on video, so he doesn't
Well,
get to talk. We're
had
going to go to
a
maps.
gamble on what was needed, whether it was Discord, whether it was Video Ninja. Ended up being the wrong one. 50-50 chance, got it wrong. But I'm super excited coming into a good series. Players ready, and yeah, apparently we had a little bit of some technical difficulty. Somebody had to make their computer setup on the go, and I gotta say that takes a lot of effort. So yeah, big props to the players for getting that done, and yeah, can't wait to get into this game.
Well, as I can hear the players rioting, let's go to the maps. I'll give you the quick rundown of the team since you weren't here for it. We have Valid Unit versus Team Wallbangers United. As much as I love a good team that sounds like they're from Manchester, these guys are ready to take us back to Layer. Sorry, well, for you, it's the first time for Layer. So I'm expecting good Tachankas, good spawn picks, and some craziness. I'm surprised that Layer is so beloved. Is there something I don't know about the scene? You've been casting a lot more recently than I have. You got any interesting things to tell me about it?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I personally hate it, hate casting it, hate playing it, everything about it. Not a big fan. Not totally sure if there was some switch ups to like how teams are gonna look to try and play around this because I just personally don't enjoy it. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what does end up being the play style these teams will adopt when moving forward within this matchup. But we are just gonna head right on in as we enter that base ban phase.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that, but that also makes me have a lot more questions than answers. So let's just think
Yeah,
about this in a
I
different
couldn't
light.
tell you.
No, don't worry, that's fine. I'm just trying to think of one thing. So, as you can see, what's the band's going to be? It's going to have to be Valid Unit planning ahead versus Wallbangers. So, Grim and Kai, we keep it standard. Layer bans need to be standard always, but will Tachanka be banned? Will Smoke be removed? Or will we see something different? Because last match, we actually didn't see a Sammy banned first round. We actually seen it only in the second setup of bans did we actually see her get removed, which is so strange to me.
I'm gonna end up going through here, and I'm just kind of waiting to see, right, what's the picks gonna look like, right? What's that cohesion gonna be enacted by these players? As if you can make something cool happen, then I would love to see it, and that's gonna come from some of the utility that they're gonna look to push forward. As yeah, it is some relatively standard picks along the entire board. Is there anything standing out to you, kind of poking your thumb up?
I'm gonna say yes, just for the failure factor of looking at these players. One, Bandit being allowed through is somewhat rare because only go for
Attackers
Kite
need
and
to
a Bandit
locate and
ban.
defuse bomb.
This time, it's also the fact that they took out Mirror early. Mirror is normally the third tertiary ban to see if a team uses her a lot and uses her as a crutch. In this case, no. So, Tachanka, Bandit, and Asami in the same round. These guys are ready to steal everything. Valid units are ready to play by the Two Brows name and be pirates. If you don't understand that reference, you make me sad because that is a really well played name. And also just the fact of I'm kind of excited to see what these guys can get out of this match. One, do you like to see a two-row brought? Do you play them yourself or no?
5 seconds left.
Personally, no. But obviously it does kind of differ from
Objective is to defuse the bomb.
how teams that are a little bit more coordinated, a little bit more communicating between them, how they're going to look to try and play a map like this is a lot different how than I'm going to try and play my ranked games. So I don't know. Personally, though, I'm kind of looking just to see which team is going to be able to make something. I do recognize a couple of these names. Valid Unit, a team that I have some familiarity with casting in the past, so I enjoy it. It brings a little bit of love to my heart to be able to see this team making even more progress within their esport careers, as they are going to continue to try and make some wins here at the opening of the EOM.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that, but I'm also a bit fearful of what we're about to see. Whether that be Valkyrie going to find a pick or end up going to get picked off here, it's all going to come down to who's got the more aggressive playstyle and who actually has the gun skill to win this. lucky for us, we don't actually have to take that risk, and she chooses to retreat. D4 will not be able to find anybody because the detonation was too late, and also because they're not playing too aggressively up close. But we just have to wait and see what we can find.
There's the first kill, though. Zedger's going to fall down as they're trying to work up the map. Spotting first, unable to collect any damage. Just early entrances, poking and prodding, giving away the location. Not the biggest plus for wallbangers having that revealed, but valid unit. Can they take advantage? Can they prioritize this player? Maybe pinch in on them. It's looking good, though, as this riot shield is making some progress. However, on the opposite side, it is just going to be murky to drop down. And once more, that's a double kill coming in for T_YT. We believe this was a player who was having some issues setting up their computer, but they're certainly not looking like it as they find 3 on the round.
Don't catch me wrong. I love seeing a team like this come into their own. First off, hey, if you built your whole computer just in 20 minutes, you're not going to feel completely comfortable with pushing to its absolute limits. But as you can see here, they've got no fear because Caxi, though, getting taken out, unfortunately, just from a long pixel peak angle, barely catching the shoulder. That's tough, but it means so much to these teams. Valid unit showing absolute I was going to say an absolute union between players, but they're just absolute units. That's the best way of putting it. Let's see how Wallbangers will choose to take this now.
Yeah, they're going to come back, look to revitalize themselves. That last round, super, super unfortunate to say the least. You cannot be allowing that, and hopefully they'll be able to change it up coming into round number 2. So valid unit, will they be able to continue to be able to have those timings that worked so well for them? I mean, you'd have to imagine the answer is yes, because it was calculated. A lot of this did come off of the information being gained, the audio cues being given. So let's see whether or not the Wallbangers can bounce back as a valid unit. They start off strong with, what was that, like 1 person dying that entire round. Really, really dominant start.
Well, that does look like it's going to be the case. Only real question needs to come out too is, how do you handle this? Do you try to set up for the long com? Do you try to make sure you can be there for the flank? Because don't get me wrong, Murky switching off of Solid makes my heart break just a little bit more because I would like to see him brought again. But also the fact that this is later, so a lot of teams don't really know how to utilize that new operator just yet. They're just needing to see how the function works. So they can say, hey, let's bring it just as a frag potential, but then there's other operators like Striker who bring so much utility just straight from the get-go. You might not have the resupply, but Panzer, using that Twitch buff straight to the fullest, has opened up and is ready and waiting to see if they can catch off one of these players being a bit aggressive. But I do have a question for you, sorry, just because I didn't get to answer yours. Quick question. So, would you prefer to push downstairs straight onto site if you knew they were holding in a formation of 3-2, so 3 above, 2 below, or would you rather just take upstairs and clear it?
One would imagine you wouldn't really want to do either. You probably just want to try and scale, maybe send 2 people top, 2 people bottom, look to have people to trade out each other, but there's going to be a bit of an engagement already seen as valid unit dealing with a little bit of pressure on the bottom floor. Let's see if this C4 will connect. Answer is going to be no, as now valid unit down for the count, leaving 1 in their defeat. But a bit of damage has been dealt from both rosters. Valid unit, however, still going to be in that man disadvantage, needing to possibly play a little bit aggressive. However, the pre-fire puts Wallbangers in an absolutely deadly position, and they're not stopping. Valid unit is getting completely disintegrated, and Wallbangers are not punished whatsoever.
It's that moment where you hesitate and it ends up losing so much momentum. And as you can see, as a 4v2 comes out with Kazakh getting taken out by Roger here, but this flick from Fitzy is going to be just enough. But he has to wait for the player to flank through Toxic to get the execution and gets taken down. It's those judgment moments where there's too many options and you can't make the right choice. Because there isn't sometimes. Valid unit 1, Wallbangers 1. They get the equalize early, which is good. But we need to see how far they're wanting to fight for this as lab support. Oh no, it's quickly switched to bunks. It looks like the change in defense is gonna have to pick their operators real quick as Asami, Bandit, Solace, Fenrir, and Frost are picked. Do you like bunks actually? I should ask you that question.
Uh, not too sure yet. I don't know. I I'm not entirely put up to date in the current meta. It's been a hot minute since I've been able to sit and look at the patch notes, play, find what I like, what I'm comfortable with. But right now we're just gonna get back on into the action. As valid unit, their lead has it's not gonna be able to cement itself. Wallbangers is going to find an early equalizer, and it's a little bit surprising just because of how dominating that first round was. I kind of expected valid unit to be able to continue that, and unfortunately that was not the case. Wallbangers really pushing through in round number 2 as they left a very high caliber win to be delivered from Fitzy, and in a 1v3 it's just so difficult to make that happen, especially when they know where you are, especially when they already have you surrounded. But the action phase is going to be pulled into action. Let's see. Can Valid Unit continue to play the defense well, or will Wallbangers be able to break away a lead?
My mic is muted, my mistake. That's weird. I guess Elgato just chose to mute it for it. As it does come down to it, you got to think about this. And as I was saying, one, you got a Solace trying to go for the slip, trying to be that nuisance upstairs. But if she's not going to get caught out, this buck might actually, just because his shotgun didn't work exactly right. And as Frost and Solace are trying to line up the shots, the calls come out for Ying. I'm really hoping that Bot can do something about this because Murky's just going to lose a little bit of HP, damaging the Rolls Royce here. He's looking for something, but it's risking his life for it.
Yeah, they're just able to throw these grenades, looking to flush out their opponents, and already valid unit. You look towards some of these players in the bottom left, the damage is being dealt, but the kills are found. It's very good. Panzer's going to fall, and valid unit may be able to prioritize. Not just yet, as there's a trait enacted. It is certainly a very precarious situation for both teams. Wallbangers, though, completely outpacing them on the peaks, as the static positioning for valid unit will be capitalized upon, as Wallbangers is going to be able to poke and prod their way into these rooms and find all of the success one could have asked for.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that because the question needs to come up and answer. 3v4, minute left. Is it winnable? As much as I'd love to say yes, I've just found out some really interesting news about the Asami, or the T_YL, as you would say. I'm going to call him Twy for the remainder of this match, probably. But yes, he's playing in his nan's kitchen, apparently, because his internet box got a little bit of corrupted. So as you can see here, the swing does come out, but no fear whatsoever. Knows that they can just be better, trusting their own gun skill, trusting the play styles that they have. The only problem is, as Bandit gets lit up from above the hatch, he's going to have to try and rotate away from the site. But can Karzek find it as she pushes through medical, or will he end up getting caught off guard? It all comes down to this on the timing. The Asami's got to wait for it as Ying goes to the hot dropper, gets pre-fire taken out as the refrag does come out. But Asami's watching from above the hatch as Frost swings in. Fitzy gets one, gets a quick frag before going down, and they actually still save the round from it.
A good round.
Drop shot.
Despite being in a 3v4 at one point, valid unit having a little bit lackluster positioning as well, they were able to deliver a second round win off of the time bank dissipating 2v2, and it was just Wallbangers having to go for something, and unfortunately Valid Unit was able to shut them down. So that is tragic to say the least. Is now Valid Unit going to be able to regain that lead? They brought in round one, lost it in round two, but it's a little bit of a ping pong match where neither team is really able to mount a lead just yet. It's going to come down to towards that end game. One would have to imagine where we're at 5-5, 6-6. Can one team come away with a bit of a tear? We'll have to wait and see. As right now, it certainly seems like either team could come away with this match, as that round was way too close to call.
Couldn't agree better myself. It's just that little moment where they have to try and help with things. And it's like, how do you make up for such a damaging misplay like that? You can. You're trying your best to, but it's just that moment where you're trying to set it up. Be like, hey, is this the right choice do we have, or is it not? I'm hoping that they can learn from their mistake, because right now they've set themselves up for victory. They've set themselves up for a good mental game. It's just the fact that we're on round 3. It doesn't help. Sorry, round 4 technically, but we've had 3 rounds in. The players are feeling momentum. They're feeling getting started. I'm just kind of hoping that the mute has a chair to sit on if he's in his nan's kitchen. I'm just kind of hoping that the Chunker can carry this round. I'm going to ask you, is there any operator you'd love to see changed on this lineup? Because I've got one I'd like to see changed.
I mean, I'll let you take that away because honestly, I could not give any specifics myself. I think that realistically they know better than me, so I wouldn't try to argue with whatever either of these teams are running towards.
No, don't get me wrong. I completely agree with that. These teams are running good comps. I would have switched out one operator though. Lion. Would have switched Lion out for either because Jokevi or Snake. My brain just kind of switched off looking at the repel, hoping to see a wallbang, but it's not going to come out just yet. Lion Charge does grasp whole place up to stand still, but Smokes never do that, so they get caught off guard. As the push does come in from I think this is it. Never mind, their strat just works together. They push up quickly looking for their own play, but as you can see, a quick frag does come out, and the trade though, just not the way I was expecting actually. As you can see, Seja getting one on the goal takes him down, so I'd say that's a fair swap. Just gotta think about this in the best way as they look for a quick pick. Fitzy taking a bit of damage here from that S417, but Damos is tracking and hunting, looking for the players, but there's mute jammers on the floor, so he's just being countered. So this is one of the points of it's difficult to always make the right choices in those moments, but as a 4v4, the timer's ticked away as the Chonka survives. Hopefully they can find the most of this right now.
Yeah, it's a valid unit. Still just trying to fish out for some shots. Beat comes through. Panzer going to be playing around the walls, trying to deliberate on what the option should be, but all the units still gonna just get this smoke done and dusted. 1-for-1 trade as Fitzy's gonna drop down. Pushu's able to find the kill, but they instantly get shut down by the SMG on valid unit, and they're not stopping just yet. Down to a single player, peeking in, finding their individual, but oh no, that'll do it. Score YL will find their kill and find that next round as they're starting to string together a couple.
I'm just trying to think of the best way of handling this, because you're putting yourself in that 3-1 position. One, the players are smart. Valid unit is taking it slow to the right point. It's working great as a team. So I'm going to say, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do next. Goya, Rooney, Smoke, Legion, Thorn will be our defenders as we go to lab. Will Wallbangers be able to find that gap again and just push straight into sight? Or will Valid Unit find a way to shut that out and close the door? Again, Plasma Pressure is being used amazingly over Wallbangers, but to the same point, Valid Unit are now wising up to the strategy. It's Wallbangers. They're expected to be like, oh, they're going to shoot through this, make sure to fight that. No, it is especially the fact that they're playing snaky. They're playing sneakily, and it's working great. You just need to capitalize a bit more on their actual frag potential. Valid Unit, again, can't complain about anything from them. It's just big gaps. That round was, they were in basement last time. too many like lack of intel calls, I guess is probably the best way of saying it, and peeking everything. But as we do get to see Snake finally get picked, Dokebi, Snake, Nomad, Thermite, and Doc will be our attackers. Let's see what they can make most out of it. All right, I'm gonna ask you a quick question, Cherry. How much do you know about Snake since he's been added to the game?
Not as much as I would like. Little bit,
Don't worry.
little bit on the potential, but it's mostly just going to come down to your knowledge. As individually, I one trick. I don't know. I just
I do love having a one trick with me, but I'll quickly explain after this engagement does come out. He got a quick tap, but he didn't actually get to finish off the job. So, real quick, not only does Snake have his UAV like this, it gives away your position if you're in the general vicinity. It has to be on the same floor though, so there's restrictions to it. But it's the idea of if you're in that circle of bubble, he can trigger his UAV and ping it. It does give a little bit more intel because it can be like, hey, is this person within this area before you ping? Yes, but it's not always perfect. As you can see, he can find out where he is, but he doesn't know exactly where. So droning is always going to be the safer bet, waiting for the square to come across. Also, the F2 finally getting the buff it needs to come back into the strong meta that it used to be for Twitch. But it's not going to be the perfect weapon, especially not versus a Vector. He's going to have to rush and go for the cross, which he does exactly right. So, Snake has his UAV, but then he also has one of the gadgets I've been asking everybody else to have. It is the ability to kill another operator and take some utility off their body. So, as you can see, it gave it the all clear. Yellow shows that if somebody was on close, which could mean on staircase or just in the general vicinity, but it doesn't. He also has the ability, needs one more thing. He can show you if a default camera is still up or if it's been hacked by another player. It can also be used for Valkyrie cams to try and find those, but as you can see quickly, his Buck tried to sneak his way up, loses his head for it, but the refrag pinch does come out. Luckily, now Dokebi can hack the cameras. So you don't have to take out every camera, just the ones the opponents are using when it comes to it. So he's got some interesting nuanced uses to come out. I'm going to say a lot of utility wasted though. That's unfortunate. As a 4v4 does come out for the last 45 seconds, I'll let you take it from here.
It's not looking like either team having a massive advantage, but valid unit at the time in their favor. 30 seconds remaining. But wall bangers, they're going to look to scale up slowly. The HP a little bit on the lower side, as you do only have one individual on this wall bangers roster who's got full HP on the cards. But certainly going to be possible for them to be able to make something happen. We've seen them having to deal with time issues in previous rounds, especially when I'm considering round 3. But there's the shots, shooting bullets right into the head. Wall bangers able to pull it out, but it's still 5 seconds. They haven't even gotten onto the sites. It's a valid unit. We'll be able to pull off a fourth and continue to string together these defensive wins.
It's what's necessary. Having that one player rise to the occasion, but also having the team work as a unit to try and stop it, it's good. But can it solve all your problems? Not exactly. So it does become a bit more unfortunate for these teams. We'll have to wait and see what they can do.
It is tragic for this wall bangers roster. They need to be able to find some kind of way around the valid unit defenses, because they have been getting held out each and every time. And so far, valid unit, they haven't given over an inch. Besides the second round where they did end up falling, Wallbangers has not been able to really get easily onto a bomb site. We have not seen these games go into a post point just yet, so it is not a it really does kind of beg the question of when are they going to be able to change that, because so far they've been the ones that have been controlling the tempo, valid unit, and I mean I just kind of see them continuing that with how this game has been progressing.
Well, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, you're right. Just looking at their playstyles and looking at how we've seen them so far, valid unit will be absolute if they go for this victory. A 4-2 split is the best Wallbangers can hope for, but a 5-1 could be the coffin sealing, the nail that seals the coffin. Oh, my brain is going so far with these analogies just thinking about these two teams. But I am happy to say They're doing very well. A lot of the teams will have to be proud of, especially when a double runner comes out and punishes two of them. That's so unfortunate. Murky and Brava, that's sorry, good luck and Brava just gone. That is a huge pick to lose to operators to, especially in a round where you needed it. First off, one, losing out Brava when she hasn't been able to hack Valkyrie cameras or thorn traps is huge problem for you to have. Secondly, the fact that Gridlock went down before you even being able to put down a stinger or give intel, drones dying in people's pockets. There is only 2 other drones that can be moved on site in general. So now we're just gonna have to wait and see how they handle it. As Habana looks to try and drop and cause an audio cue, it's actually gonna be a problem because that's how Dokebi and Habana both go down. Just the swing confidence coming out from that kitchen. Again, when people say get in the kitchen, they don't normally mean destroy the entire round. So I can say these players are doing absolute work and wonders. I mean this in the best way possible. If I ever hear somebody complaining about playing in a kitchen again, I'm going to show them clips of this Asami, of the Twile, doing absolute work. But as it does come down to it, Panzer's going to use this final time, I assume, to give it a little bit of a tactical timeout and give his team some intel, let them chat about it, set up what he can. Because he needs to isolate his ones. It's a 1v5. He needs to ace clutch to go for this victory.
Yeah, as of now, in a 1v5, it is all but death remaining. However, not just yet. Peeking into the action, able to secure one. Steel going into their heads, looking to try and find a second. Able to do it. They make this round possible, but that feasibility goes right out the window.
How do you have to handle this? It's just the moment where you want to try your best for it, but will you be able to? These teams don't let anything slide at the best of times, let alone now when you have to make that true difference.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult.
We've got Mira and Ace gone. Sorry, I'm just gonna quickly. Ace, Mira gone. I need to see some target bans here. I need to see some victory bans. I need to see some good clash thermite gone. Fair enough. That still means 2 Heartbreachers gone, 1 nuisance gone, and an absolute menace being removed. The issue is that means you are now up against the Bandit and Kaid for keeping people out of sight, or they could just not bring it and choose Mutant Scopos instead as you go downstairs. Sorry, continue.
Now let's see. We're going right into this next game. How can they really progress though? Right, Valid unit so far they're at last round of the half, or no, first round of the second half. Oh man, and honestly, now that they're going on to the attack, question becomes, how do they want to play? Do they want to play it slow? Do they want to try and scale up quickly, find information, play off of audio cues, move up when they know nobody's around? Or is it going to be fast tempo, high paced, energetic gameplay that could possibly just instantly break Wallbangers' defenses, right? Because if I'm Wallbangers, I'm not going to be expecting them to just run at me as soon as possible, but that could definitely be how they will tend to go in, right? Valid unit, they could easily just try and send 3 players barreling down main entrances and try to control extremities after they get involved into these close corridors. But as of now, we're just going to have to wait and see as the action phase does begin. Match point on the cards. Will Valid unit be able to secure it?
I'm gonna have to say yes, they will, but at what I'd like to call a great cost because of the fact that now it's a 5v5. I love Panzer, I love Scopus, don't get me wrong, but Panzer, Scopus being able to jump around, he can hopefully do so many insane plays. It just needs to be the right ones because Deimos is here. He is tracking. He now has 3 operators he'll discount, Mute, Castle, and Lucy. And with such free range audio being covered and cleared, if he walks into sight without anybody checking the doorway or anybody having a beep or something to try and halt this push, he could walk up and get a free easy kill. But never mind, as Scopus is actually going to be there to get the frag off and get quickly shut down by Rolljoy, getting 2 picks of his own. It's now down to a 4v3. I was going to say Mute ended up getting taken out 12 as well, but that's just how it can crumble sometimes. 4v3, not a lot of time to be done. Just gonna have to push up. And as Fitzy gets one, takes out Panzer. Now it's actually a 3v2 with Habana having a chance of being rezzed, but not without a great deal of risk. Now it's almost equal as a 3v2 comes out, but the HP advantage actually goes to Wallbangers. So they're going to have to make the most of this. A single impact or anything could end up ruining somebody's day very quickly. As the drone comes out, Habana doesn't have the HP for this fight, but chooses to go for the drop shot, tries to go for the swing, and ends up losing that fight to Kazak. But as the pre-fires come out, it's not going to be enough to stun it. It's all for Murky to try and clutch this out for his team. Murky gets one. Now you're in a 1v1 versus a Monty in a post-pump situation. It's not ideal. Impact comes out, puts it to 4-4. But the time is coming out. He's going to have to keep going for that melee. 21 seconds, ticking away very quickly. And with only a couple more seconds, you just got to find some way of dealing with him. Pushing him into the corner. 10, 9, 8, 7. Round goes off to the Monty. Congratulations, GG. At least get your exit flag, pad that KD. This round goes to Wallbangers. Taking them downstairs seems to be a mistake.
Yeah, it was very, very aggressive. A minute 48, and they're already looking like this game has been secured. Valid unit now at 6-1. Can they close this out? It certainly seems like the answer may, in fact, be a resounding yes. But we're just going to have to kind of bide our time, wait on out, as we are finally going to be entering match point right as soon as this game started. Valid unit, they're giving no opportunities to Wallbangers. They're not conceding anything, and this is certainly looking like a game that will likely keep going their favor.
My brain's just shut off thinking about the fact that, yes, we have the switch, but now we have the penultimate round, and now we have a serious mistake coming out, because how do you handle this? As I said before, I meant to say round goes to Valid unit, because of the fact that they've just done so well on their attacks, on their pushes, on the multi-plays. We've got to see how this play works, because it needs to see something grow from them of the side of Wallbangers. Wallbangers have done well. Don't catch me wrong. They did well getting here through the qualifiers, group stages. It's just got to get a lot more from it.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Keep waiting. Looks as of now, Valid unit
5 seconds left
still
before insertion.
on the forefront. The round is about to start,
Attackers are moving
and
to defuse the bomb.
I mean, it's just this long-range weaponry that they're coming into the game with. This arsenal is so strong, and I do kind of expect them to be able to bring out that gunfights that are going to be favorable for them, as they're going up against a lot of shotguns that are going to be a real nuisance, a real threat to deal with. But let's see how Wallbangers is going to be able to play possibly the final round of this match, as currently we see the information being gathered. Nobody spotted out just yet, but they are going to have players right around the corner. This could be deadly for this Wallbangers roster. This is a lethal positioning that they're taking, where they're not picked up with cameras, but they are still right nearby.
I'm trying to think of how you take the most of this matchup that we're seeing right now, because think about it. One, this team being absolute units, absolute menaces, and now looking for a quick entry into sight. 2 minutes, a minute has passed. Don't get me wrong, they've already pushed in, got 2 quick picks from Rolljoyce, getting a third as well. Panzer goes down. Pull up to the Fenrir and Bandit standing, but with them both being on site, Hoshu finally shuts down Rolljoyce. That's exactly what needed to happen. But Monty comes in, clears the Bandit. It's all to the Fenrir, the last one standing, but he's in a really difficult spot facing this Monty with reinforcements as well coming out. GG. You'll come back to our lovely faces. I just want to put this out.
That will do it. A phenomenal win from this unit. Oh man, Star Drago, how much more can you possibly ask for a 7-1 victory, giving such a dominant performance today?
Well, you missed another 7-1 at the start of today versus Penta, but that one's actually, I've just been informed, that match has been, I hate saying it, forfeited actually, because they have brought up players who wasn't on the sub roster lock-in list, so that match will be overturned sadly. But I can say this one is official. There's no problems, even if the guy's playing in his nan's kitchen. Fair play to the nan for supporting him in the background, I'm sure. I'm gonna say this. fair play. I still want a picture of the setup. So as we head on to the next match, we'll got you in just a sec. Let's head to a break. So we have some news. First off, after the final epicness of the last match, where a guy who's at his nan's place MVPs it, sitting on a stool and a bunch of betting, I'm gonna say GG. Ubisoft could not handle the raw intensity and the amazingness of the play, so it bricked the servers. We cannot actually hop into our next match. We can't host our next match. Can't do anything. But the players can apparently still play on their own. So we're gonna have to call it there. Sadly, the stream's gonna have to end. Cherry J, give yourself a shout out. I'll do the rest afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, go follow me on Twitter, cherrycast_. Follow Star Drago at Star Drago, I believe. So,
Oh,
ladies and
not even
gentlemen, yeah,
close.
that's it from me though. Oh no.
So I'm at SV Drago. Don't worry about it. I'm your favorite
Oh.
emergency caster as always, but we have our great observers for this time, which was Kadar, and I can't remember what his Twitter handle is. I'll post everything later on. With Rexy being a producer. Thank you for having us on Eon Season 6 today. Sorry, Series 6. And just everybody have a good rest of your day. Enjoy some food, get some drinks on you, and we'll catch you all next one. See you later.